Alright, you guys, welcome to the live. I'm just going to flip the camera. Give me a second. Don't know why I'm not able to do that before I actually go live. So welcome to the live, my friends. I am Superwoman. In case you're not familiar, the Lois Lane version of Superwoman. There are a few versions of Superwoman if you do read the comic books in DC lore. So what we're going to do tonight is we are going to continue on the Legion of Superheroes, that story. Hey, the Loon Turn, welcome, welcome. This is kind of like one of my, I guess, lesser known cosplays. Also, I didn't want to put on a wig tonight. I am au naturel. So to those of you wondering if I actually have hair, I do have hair. So we are going to be reading tonight. We're in my studio. Oh, yes. Oh, Lord oh my gosh. Metatron? That's so crazy. You were in my comic book the other day. I can show you. Well, Supergirl's comic book, not to be confused with myself. So if you're not familiar, I am playing as Superwoman, not to be confused with Supergirl. I do love Kara, right? Kara Zor-El, the last daughter of Krypton. But I'm playing as Lois Lane tonight. And for some stories, Lois Lane actually gets powers. And for a time, Dan Mora is actually one of my favorite comic book illustrators. And I do love the way he draws when Lois Lane gets powers, and so her and Clark get to go on these superhero dates, going flying together and stuff. Eventually, Lois does have to give the power back. There's a whole discussion where the bad guys try to use that against her, being like, oh, you think Clark's gonna like you after your powers are gone? But realistically, Lois's powers don't necessarily come from the traditional sense. They come from her smarts, right? There's a lot of stories I know, Lois Lane, she's a babe, right? I don't know if you guys have your favorite version of Lois. One of my favorites is actually Terry Hatcher from Lois and Clark, before she did Desperate Housewives. Dean Cain, I liked him at the time. He's kind of, age does something to people, right? And also, I'm using my different mic today to ode to Lois and to all of the reporters out there. What did I think of Supergirl? I am watching it this weekend, so I'll let you guys know my reaction to it on maybe Sunday. Probably for Sunday, I will let you guys know. Have you guys seen it? Do you like it? Let me know. Let me know. Are there people in the Supergirl movie that are in Superman's world, or is it mainly off-world? I think it's mainly off-world. So you got Crypto and she's I don't want to stay on Earth. Hey, let me say hi to everybody. Fractal Spiral, hello, welcome back. They did this on Smallville and Lois and Clark series, which was cool. Also, I do love Lois in Smallville. Erica Durance, is that her actress's name? She's pretty cool. I like this. That show, right? What did I think of Supergirl? Good to see you. Yeah, so if it'd be fun to do something. Let me have a seat. Oh my gosh, I didn't even put this straight. We're gonna read some of this tonight, but I'm painting later today, you guys. You can see my little background. I have the wolves up, which is a tapestry, but there's a background here, a panel. So I'm gonna be painting the night sky on it, right? I'm gonna be putting some constellations on it, and hopefully I'll get to unveil that soon. I'm gonna have to let a couple of layers of paint dry, and I haven't done painting in this kind of way in a little while, so we'll see how that looks. Let me just move this. My newspapers in here. I was like, should I move the camera or should I move the chair? What's more complicated? Let me do it that way. Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Prince of Wales. What do I think of the new Supergirl movie? Okay. Just got to go again. Oh, well, thank you for stopping by, everybody. Just to get you guys, I'm not playing Supergirl tonight. I'm playing Superwoman. There are two Superwomen. Oh my gosh. Oh, the cape makes it hard to do things, right? All right. Okay. Now they're all comfy. Welcome to the Cosmic Comic Book Club, my friends. I am Lois Lane, playing as Superwoman. Lois Lane and April O'Neil are Rachel Z's initial inspirations for moving out to Toronto, to the big city, and taking broadcast journalism. Hey Dandy Money Man, birthday twin, how are you? Welcome to the live. I know I'm late tonight, and it's funny. All through me getting ready tonight, I had this fly literally buzzing around me. I'm like, are you sent by the evil people trying to stop me from doing this? I don't know. There's like very woo-woo energies afoot. I don't know if you guys feel it, because I sure do. We are going to continue on Legion of Superheroes. And if you guys have been following my journey lately, I have been going through a lot of therapy, personal healing, all of that good juicy stuff, which sounds really marketing, but when you actually go through it, it's like hell. But hey Gwen Stacy, how are you? Okay, so quick introduction to my character, if you're not familiar with Lois Lane playing Superwoman. Hello. Oh yeah, the echo makes it sound a little extra. Okay. To be very honest, you guys, I've been going through a lot. Music has been a good way for me to kind of get through it mentally, shift my state. Tomorrow I'm going for therapy, so that's going to be good. Where is Clara at, Lois? Oh my goodness. At least you recognize me. And so I love Lois. To answer your question, Gwen Stacy, I don't know where Clara is. Do you? I think she's probably upstairs with Cal, right? You know, we're taking shifts now that we both have powers. You know, doesn't have to be one guy taking over the whole world. Not taking over the whole world, but he could. I guess that's the point. Hey, Harvey Two-Face. Oh, just to let you guys know too, we're gonna be doing some live skits. To be honest, you guys have been dealing with PTSD diagnosis from my childhood, so just coming through with all that has been crazy. So I've been having to figure out how we're going to go back to Toronto and get our stuff. So I've been setting all that up, and we will be doing a live. Can you remind me of the date, Harvey? I'll be Wonder Woman that evening. Also, there is a version of Supergirl and Wonder Woman and all that I would love to cosplay as with you guys if you guys are interested in collaborating. The Dark Knights of Steel, right? And I think that Kara and Cal, well, it's her name Zala Jor-El, because she is the she's the daughter of Jor-El in that version. So her and Cal are brother and sister as opposed to being cousins. Wednesday, July 29th. Yes, it'll be a good time. 8 p.m. Central Time. So I will put that in my events calendar as well, so you guys can register ahead of that. And also to remind myself, I know I've been all over the place lately, you guys. I've been going through a lot mentally. Like, really, really, truly have been going through a hard time. So I consider myself a very strong person, you know, very resilient, but it's been rough, right? So oh my gosh. Bucci Main, thank you. So we are going to do a comic book read tonight. Oh, I'm not going to be able to hold the microphone while I do it. Okay, well, we'll leave that for the end. I did promise you guys doing this on studio so you can see the panels and the art up close. But this is a good segue for me to talk to you guys about Superwoman. So, class, do you know about Superwoman? So what is the difference? I wish I had prizes to give away. I wish I give away dragon eggs for that. Oh, thank you. So do you guys know, I don't know if Superwoman with Lois having powers has been done in animation or live action, but Lois in the animation and in live action is pretty sweet. Like they usually cast her as, like, you know, strong, confident, very smart, Pulitzer Prize winning Lois Lane, Daily Planet, right? So I wanted to be exactly that when I was growing up. Our baby dragons, I have to go check on them. They've been abducted. Thank you. So, you guys know who Superwoman is? Da, na, 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 na. It's kind of a trick question, actually. There are a couple of answers. So there are actually a few answers to who is Superwoman. Wrong answers only. No, I'll take right and wrong answers. There are no wrong answers here. It's only just exploring the universe. Absolutely flawless. Tim, you are too kind. Thank you. I'll take those sweet offerings. I'll bask in it. You are. Oh, you're sweet. Oh, Frey. Yes. Well, I am Lois with powers for now. And just like, in any storyline in the DC universe, typically my powers don't last, right? It's just for a time. So, yes, continuing on the Rhea Ripley. Oh, yeah, yes, that is correct answer. There are a few right answers as to who is Superwoman. A few answers. And I explained to you guys before when I was Supergirl Kara, the reason why she's Supergirl. So let me go into that quick explanation, and I'll let you guys keep putting in the chat who you think Superwoman is besides Lois Lane. You can put Lois Lane in too if you want to put in an answer, because I gave you the answer. There you go. But Supergirl is Supergirl, even though Superman is technically younger than her, because when Supergirl was sent out into time-space in her little capsule, right? It was after Superman had already been sent as a baby, right? So at this point, Supergirl is sent afterwards, and so she's in stasis for 30 years before crashing in Gotham Harbor. So she's already 16 years old, or 15, 16 years old by the time, when Cal's only a baby, for his name day, right? And there's a whole, I think, comic book where on the name day, bad people try to come and assassinate Cal, and Crypto saves him by jumping at the guy, and they get pushed into the Phantom Zone, and that explains how Crypto ends up in other timelines. So it's a way of explaining different time spaces and jumping dimensions and timelines and stuff like that. So Supergirl is Supergirl because she's a teenager, even though she's older than Superman because she's in stasis, right? So kind of plays with the whole time and your age being versus your wisdom age. If you're a soul that has been here many lifetimes versus being a younger soul, even though you're someone's in an older body. Age ain't nothing but a number. Getting down ain't nothing but a thing. Does Clark know his wife is a superhero, yes or no, Mama? Well, you know what? Yes. And there's some cute panels. I think I have it on my YouTube channel somewhere as I'm organizing it, where Superwoman, it's called The Rise of Superwoman, where Lois and Clark literally go on superhero dates together, and they team up to take down bad guys, right? And so, and they also talk about how they use their reporter skills, their ability to tell a good story, their ability to get the story out of people to, the benefit of being a superhero. So there's more, Clark says that, Lois Lane's superhero power is not necessarily this, all the flying and stuff. It's really her ability to get the story, the real story that people are trying to hide. So let me see. Oh, Dracles, hello. Okay. Oh, yes, you're sweet. So I'll explain to you the different Superwomen. Number 1, Superwoman from Crime Syndicate. I forget what her real name is, but she's Superwoman, but she's evil girl, but she's kind of hot. So I kind of like that Superwoman too. Crime Syndicate's kind of cool too. They're where all the good superheroes are bad superheroes. Okay, so that's 1. 2, Lana Lang is another Superwoman, and she's a Superwoman of when she gets red kryptonite, she ends up developing powers, and she becomes Superwoman Red, I guess. And so Lois Lane is the final answer, and also a Superwoman, right? Okay, so what we're going to do tonight, we're going to read a comic book. We are going to continue on with Superboy's Legion of Superheroes. We last left off at, kind of a crucial state. And there's also, actually I should explain the Legion first, right? You guys are familiar, right? There's like from the future. I have a flash goal. Let's do that. Okay. Oh my gosh. There's also a fly in here. It's kind of crazy. Like, I feel like, energies kind of test us in different ways, right? If you have, bring this closer. If you have let's say, an event coming up, right? And you have to like study or something for it, like a test. But you're also then going through things like heartbreak or something as simple as a fly getting in the way of you doing your makeup. Throws you behind schedule. So you have to learn to like roll with the punches, even though like, the best laid plans of mice and men often go haywire. So you better have a plan B, C, and D, and that's okay. So let's segue into where we have left off thus far in Superboy's Legion. I'm Lois Lane's Superwoman, and we are going to read this, but I'm first going to get you up to date as part of the Cosmic Comic Book Club. So what is the Cosmic Comic Book Club? It's basically a book club, but for comic books and nerds like me and you, right? And every full moon, we're going to be having a full moon reading on Discord, as well as here on TikTok, but the TikTok version will not have the panels up close. So, and the replays will be available to all members for as long as you're part of the crew. So it's just $5 a month. I have that on my Ko-Fi. I spend a lot of time just like streamlining a lot of the things that I have going on because I realized it was kind of all over the place. So also too, I have my cosplay calendar that I'm working on as well. I just have to figure out how to like actually what I want to use to actually get it out there. So I've found that in a lot of my projects lately, I've been caught in the weeds of, what tool instead of like just sending out the email, right? And in making my movie, like I have my Indiegogo campaign stuck in almost like pre-production. Pre-production hell. It's just in like that getting it ready to go live on Indiegogo to start funding so I can start filming and stuff. But it's so crazy. A lot of my story in that mythic universe of the Dragon Warriors is very couched in reality. It has been a way for me to heal my inner child and realize living my dreams, right? Which is what I'm doing right now, like playing a role for the universe, right? Speaking your truth, opening up your throat chakra and like letting people know like, hey, I love this. And if that makes me weird, I'm okay with being weird. And, I think it was Clive Barker, the creator of Hellraiser, who he said at one of the fan expos that like, don't apologize for your imagination, right? Father is upstairs, yes, Gwen Stacy. Oh, he will be back live tomorrow. So tomorrow, very special live I've planned. We're gonna have Silk Scepter. So I keep on calling the Star Sapphires Silk Scepter. I don't know why. It was like the other day, I kept on calling this girl who was Lisa Kim. And I'm like, why am I confusing that name? Those aren't even like related. I think you're gorgeous, not weird. Aw, thank you. Well, I mean, those things don't necessarily, like, things can be gorgeous and weird, right? I'm okay with being a weirdo. I've only very recently been okay with it. So, that's fun. I've always been okay with, like, being nerdy and loving comic books. And so, I also do things like go-go dance and, like, burlesque and like perform and all that kind of stuff. So I have a lot of girlfriends who aren't necessarily comic book nerds, but I'm going to convert them so I can make like dance routines with them, like the Birds of Prey, like kind of like Bond girls, Birds of Prey, and like just fun little things that we can play with in terms of the characters that we love, in terms of telling stories, right? So as it comes to Lois and Clark, right? I find it funny because there's a double entendre there, because Lois and Clark are also explorers. So if you've watched Event Horizon, right, I think the ship that goes missing, right, is the Lois and Clark, and they have to like, Dr. Weir does this like, you know, hole through time space thing that they always do when they like poke the pencil through to explain warp drive. And I mean, when we think about Superman and Supergirl, the Kryptonians, they are aliens. So it's already like a comic book that is couched within sci-fi, science fiction, science future. And when we think about roles like the reporter, right? The person who is the news anchor, you are literally anchoring in a particular timeline, a particular storyline. It just happens to be reality, right? So it's interesting how many superheroes, their alter ego tends to be one that's in journalism, I find, but in storytelling. Like, for example, Lois, but I mean, like, I know she's the girlfriend, but still, she's involved. Even Kara's alter ego tends to be, she like works for a gossip column, I think, or she works for like a news kind of thing, right? Of course, Clark Kent is a news reporter, right? But you also have like Peter Parker being a photographer for like, you know, the news, right? You're working on the story. There's a few others, like where you're working, I think Barry's wifey Iris works for the news. No more for you. So much to do with children around, Gwen Stacy. Who has time to save the world when you're being parents? Although I feel like if you're inspiring little ones, you are also saving the world in your own way. I actually watched a movie the other day called The Magical Faraway Tree, speaking of Spider-Man, and Andrew Garfield was in it. I don't know if you guys have a favorite Spider-Man, but Andrew Garfield has grown on me lately as a Spider-Man. You know, Tobey Maguire, of course, is my Spider-Man. He just has to be, because that's like, I saw Spider-Man when it was in theaters and stuff, right? So, and my favorite movie was Spider-Man 2. Because I always love the 2. The 2 is always the best movie, right? Lord of the Rings, the second movie is always the best one. Star Wars, like Empire Strikes Back, it's always the second one. That's just my opinion, like even in trilogies, because the first book or first movie is always like, you have to get all the lore out of the way, you have to like, the team has to all meet, the party has to get together. There's some fun parts in that, right? Where you're like, all right, my sword and my axe and my thing, right? Yeah, let's go on this journey, it's gonna be fun. And then you get rocked in the second book, right? So you learn the tough lessons. But it does leave on a hopeful note, right? It gives you this perspective on like what it means to make a hero. That you have to go through dark stuff, you have to go through these things that prove your strength. And I don't mean strength like, you know, I'm strong and can lift 100 pounds, even though I'm pretty strong too. I can lift a lot of weight. I do love the gym, but I mean, there's just like inner resilience and strength. I can't be comfortable standing. You know what, I'm gonna sit. I do like standing though. I did bartend for very many years, and you're standing all night for that, and I'll go dancing as well. You don't notice it though with the music. My Kate makes this so hard. You guys are very sweet. Okay, let's see. All right, let's talk about Superboy's Legion, and maybe I can give you a brief synopsis, and then I can continue reading for a brief moment. I was almost about to be 4 months when the first Spider-Man movie came out in 2002. Thank you for that fun fact, Gwen Stacy. Of course you would know that too. 2002. That helps to timestamp my life as well. So 2002, I was in grade 11 at my all-girls high school here in Winnipeg. And it's funny, I was looking at like the history of my school, which literally looks like a Bene Gesserit school now that I look back at it. And it's funny because like John A. Macdonald, like the first Prime Minister of Canada, his granddaughter or great-great-granddaughter like went to my high school. And we and me and hubby, we found out this other weird fact. So I went to an all-girls Catholic school here in Winnipeg, right? But there's another all-girls private school that's not Catholic called Balmoral Hall. And they're like non-denomination. And of course, like, we as the, you know, the two private all girls schools like hated on each other because like I guess that's just what girls do. But Chantal Kreviazek went to that high school, and I knew about Chantal because her parents owned a pest control company, and like they had like money, so it's kind of like, of course you made it in the music industry. You had like the money to do like the recording stuff. I mean, she's got a good voice, and she sang on the Armageddon soundtrack, right? You know, I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. Something like that. I missed that. It's like, and I loved Armageddon as the movie, and I forget what year that came out. But Chantal Kreviazek, who's a Winnipeg girl, actually got married to Rain Maida, who is the lead singer of Our Lady Peace, who sang Superman's Dead, right? As well as Clumsy, which is more of my favorite song by Our Lady Peace. Hi! And funniest thing, Rain Maida went to my hubby's elementary school. How weird is that? And then he married a Winnipeg girl. Let's see here. Love the haters. They're your biggest fans. Love it. I'm joking. Oh, and Sweet Goods. Hello. Hi, Sweet Goods. I do love Sweet Goods very much. Oh, and you're... Aw, I'm so nice. Marry me. I'm already married. I just like Lois. I didn't mean to invite you. Sorry. You're very sweet. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, though, right? So if you accept my invitation to play, right, and that I'm Lois, and in this reality, you're all going to become superheroes very soon, and we're headed towards a world. Oh, you guys, you're enough to make my head swell. But you know what? I had a very tough childhood, so perhaps that's why I can keep the ego in check when it comes to that. But also too, where's I going with this? Oh yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about the Legion. I'm just gonna like lean my booty on the back here. There. Yeah. So I can kind of sit, kind of not. I used to be a bartender, you guys, for Earl's here, and they completely brainwashed you into thinking you were like more attractive than the rest of the population because you worked there. I worked with some girls who perhaps just weren't quite with it. I remember I had one girl, she kept on like coming to me and she's like, Rachel, I keep on putting in a Caesar, can you make me a Caesar? And like, you know how like when you bartend, like you have like your chits and they come up with like the drinks for the, oh my gosh, like the dinner room, right? You have like the cocktail room and you have your well, right? And then you have like the rest of the floor. So if you go to like Earl's or if you go to like Moxie's or any of these kinds of places, if you order an alcoholic drink, you're basically the bar, like the chit has to show up at the bar. So this beautiful girl, she always comes up and she comes in, Rachel, please make me a Caesar. I'm like, but your drink hasn't come up and I can't just make you that because then it has to be accounted for and all that kind of things. Anyways, she keeps on coming back. It's like, make me a Caesar. I'm like, are you sure you didn't just punch in the salad a bunch of times? You just have a Caesar salad in the back. She's like, oh my God. Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of like, what's Moxie's? What is this sorcery? I don't know. Like, where are you from? I'm in Canada. So, I don't know. These restaurants are kind of like perhaps localized here. We don't have things like, I mean, I visited New York a few times and Las Vegas a few times to do modeling and stuff like that and compete in fitness. And I remember the most expensive meal I had was at Times Square, TGI Fridays, out of everywhere. I'm like, what the heck? Who is Rachel? I don't know, really. Actually, I'm still figuring that out. I hope you guys are too. Je suis de la région Montréal, Quebec, Canada. Oh, hello, Montreal. I love Montreal. I I do have a few friends in France as well, and Guadeloupe, which I think is a subsidiary as well. You guys, good. We're all here. The crew's all here. Welcome to superhero training. I used to have that restaurant, TD. Oh yeah. Oh, you guys are very sweet. I had a mother who used to just. I mean, I'm not gonna go down this whole frequency hole again, but your comments, your sweet comments, do mean a lot, right? I'm not in Montreal. I am in Winnipeg right now. However, I'm kind of back. I'm going to be back and forth just because I'm going to be filming a movie coming up on Indiegogo called Escape from District 6, which is a spiritual successor to John Carpenter's Escape from LA and Escape from New York. I can tell. Yeah, so that's been in kind of like the back end of me finishing part 2 of book 2 of my Dragon Warriors book, which is like a young adult novel, which I wrote when I was 14, but then I like forgot about it because, you know, adult life happened, as well as a lot of like growing up, I guess we'll call it that. You grow up, and growing up, it's not easy, right? The fall from innocence and like betrayal and all of this stuff, right? But being able to like see it through, tough it out, and come around the other side. So actually, that's actually a good way to segue to this. If you've joined me before on these comic book reads, I read comic books to you guys live in cosplay. And the reason why, crazy summer it has been. Thank you. I really hope that, you know, maybe I can fly this summer. Best way to kind of do it is, you know, when people always like hazard against taking psychedelics because they're like, oh, you may like pretend you can fly or think you can fly and you jump off. Like, I mean, there's hazards to that. You should be in a safe place, obviously. But if you want to learn how to fly, why not do it like on a trampoline or out, you know, where you're just jumping off the ground in a safe location. You don't even doing like, you know. So I'll be doing my own tests lately. Where's brother at? He's upstairs snoozing, snoring very loudly. I'm surprised you don't hear him. You know, this is an older house, so you can kind of hear through the walls. So I am in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada right now, which is my hometown. But I moved to Toronto after I graduated from university to do broadcast journalism. And I was inspired to do that from characters like Lois Lane, like Clark Kent, like April O'Neil, actually, from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? Because, I don't know, there's just something to figuring out the story, right? And the real story, as well as, like, what is secret, right? What is kept secret versus what actually makes the press, right? And having discernment with that kind of stuff. So, however, I came here, I started to do this Summer Institute of Broadcast Journalism here at like York University, and I got so disillusioned, you guys. A lot of it just was like theater and show. Like, you weren't really making a lot of the stories, especially if you were an anchor. You got it fed by like Associated Press. Your headlines were all like pre-made for you, and like it was just kind of like this weird thing of like, oh, this is just theater, except it's kind of boring. I'd rather be like musicals or something like that. Bjork, not Bjork, no, York University. It's like in buttfuck nowhere. I like came out here and I was like, I'm not staying up here in like North York. I'm gonna stay downtown. So I did that, and then I go danced actually at Government for a while. I danced for like David Guetta and like Tiesto and a few other DJs, and they came and stuff. Then I got a corporate gig, so I had to like hide that part of myself. But I'm bringing that part back, right? Because it's always been a part of me. But also the cosplay has been a big part of healing my inner child, because it was never safe for me to be myself, right? So when I got to put on the armor of these other characters, I was able to be more of myself. Oh, Northbrook. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know where that is. I don't know where anything is, to be honest. I don't. Even though, actually, I do. I do if you just point out certain directions. I have a map. I'm also very interested in, like, alignments of things, right? So it's like this, you know, being in the right place at the right time and riding the synchronicity wave. So I have been reading, you guys, Legion of Superheroes, Superboy's Legion, for the last, well, I don't know, on and off. I haven't really been great with the schedule, I'm sorry. So thank you. Oh, Saskatchewan. I got a speeding ticket in Saskatchewan when I was a Kokanee Glacier girl back in like 2001, I think. Oh, no, that couldn't be that because I was still in high school then. About 2005, I would say. So if you're not familiar with Kokanee, it's a beer company, and I used to be a promo model for them. And, you know, when you drive through the prairies, I think there's a saying that, like, you can watch your dog get lost for, like, 3 days in the prairies, right, in one direction, you know? That's where I remember you from. Your homemade child of God's Almighty, already a superhero, beloved. Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, my name is Rachel, and Rachel does translate to Lamb of God. So, I'm not... It's funny. Let's see here. April and her 3-month-old. Oh, yeah, April will be back soon, too. I heard 54 was closing. I hope I heard wrong. Oh, no, I hope not. You know, you are also a handmade child of God. I'm actually reminded of, there's a really beautiful song in Hunchback of Notre Dame by Esmeralda, and it's called Outcasts, and oh my gosh, I wish I could sing it properly and do it justice, but there's like a choir where they're like singing in church, and they're like, I pray for wealth, I pray for fame, I pray for glory to shine on my name, and then I pray for love I can possess, I pray for God and his angels to bless me. And then Esmeralda comes in with her song. She's like, I ask for nothing, I can get by, but I know so many less lucky than I. Please help my people, we look to you still. God help the outcasts, or nobody will. And so that song got to me, right, because Esmeralda's a gypsy, whether or not you guys consider that a politically correct term or not. But she can, because of that, right, the church doesn't really like, but despite that, though, we are all like children of God. Doesn't matter. Supergirl review, I have not seen yet. I have not been very good at, I've been kind of on a side quest in my real life. I haven't been able to go see it just yet, but I will probably see it this weekend, and I can let you guys know what I think probably on Sunday, right? Okay, back to the Legion of Superheroes, my friends. If you're not familiar, they're a group of teenagers from the future, the 31st century. They get kind of horny a lot too, these guys. But I guess, you know, teenagers, right? They kind of like, I'm with this guy, and then now I'm with this guy, and like, I'm going to be with this guy to make this guy jealous. So, I mean, there's part of me that, like, still love, like, movies like that. Like, She's All That, and 10 Things I Hate About You. Where is it going with this? Oh, yes. So they're a group of teenagers from the 31st century. If you guys have read any crossover DC comics, such as Doomsday Clock, or, oh my gosh, I think Crisis. Some of the Crises have them, like the Miracle Machine as well, right? You're okay. Keep talking. Oh, yeah. Okay. I just want to, like, basically get you guys in on the weird timeline conundrum that's happening with the Legion of Superheroes, right? So in Doomsday Clock, right, there's actually a prophecy about like this time that we're in right now, 2026, about being when Superman returns and all of his greatest allies return with him, but it's only after a period of great crisis, right? I am still here, you know, I'm still standing. And that stupid fly, it's so crazy. This fly, I feel like, was sent here to stop me from being live and like annoy me. It's a huge fly too. Could be like a droid. And then I couldn't find my fly swatter for a while, so I like used my towel and I like hit the light and it broke the light, and I'm like, oh yeah, of course you're doing that. So F that fly. Exactly. F that fly. I will get you. I have the fly swatter. So if you don't see me, I will get you. I will get you. You know, I try to live and let live with most things, like spiders, let it out kind of thing. My dog's afraid of flies too. Imagine if that fly was God, trippy. I mean, I feel like there's a level of truth in that. And then there's a level of being aware of what parts of ourselves we need to expunge, right? There's this level of, if we didn't have the cells between our fingers die, then we would all have webbed fingers still, right? So cell death needs to happen in order to like have this kind of evolution. So that maybe that fly needs to go so I can have like my peace of mind. Don't expunge me. No, I won't, definitely. And Jonas, thank you. You're awesome too. Hi, Relax Junior. Hi. Oh my gosh, I got on a tangent. So funny. Okay. Let me fill you in on the events thus far, and then I'm going to put down this microphone. That's a fair assessment. Exactly. I love you guys. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys my synopsis of what's been happening in this story, the facts that we know thus far, and then I'm going to put this microphone down because I can't read this and hold the mic, and I don't have my mic stand here. So I'm going to try to bring this other mic. I'm not going to let you guys in on my technical background on that. I am just going to give you guys some background on this. So, Legion of Superheroes. This is the 31st century. In this future, Superman, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Justice League, they all exist as a part of the distant past, right? As a as a mythologized background, right? My tactical background. I do love playing Halo, though. You know, I do love some first-person shooters. You know, killing some zombies too is also fun. I love virtual reality. I love gaming, all that kind of stuff. I'm a big tech nerd, to be honest, too, as well. Too many things. So, when it comes to Legion of Superheroes, they are a group of heroes in the future that work together to, you know, keep the multiverse, well, just, I suppose, their universe safe. They actually did the Legion of Superheroes in Crisis on Infinite Earths in 2022, I believe. I think Jensen Ackles was who voiced Batman in that. But in that, Kara did a lot of what Harbinger's character did, and they had her go to the Legion in a particular world that ends up being destroyed by the Anti-Monitor, meaning that it just never exists in the first place, and so all that exists of the Legion are just Kara's memories, which is very sad if you really think about it. And then you can kind of think of like, well, what's real and what isn't if you tell me like, this is blipped out of existence, but I remember it, right? So just, you know, something to keep in mind. So in this story, there's different stories that deal with the Legion, but in this story specifically, we have Superboy, whose father is this guy named R.J. Brand. Very confused about that. Not familiar. I don't know if you guys are. And he's like this rich benefactor guy, and this Superboy, I guess he's a clone? I'm not sure how they explain it, because in earlier comics of the Legion, you basically have like a miracle machine or a time portal or something like that, where Supergirl or Superboy come into the future and they go on adventures with the Legion, and then they go back into their own timeline, right? He's not a clone. He is the son. Is he the son, Bruce Fern? Like, son of son? Because I feel like it's quite far in the future. Okay. They make it... I don't know why it doesn't seem clear when I'm reading that that's the case, but that does make sense. So I will go with what you're saying. Because sometimes there's a few... Like, what is true? That Kryptonians can't have children, or Kryptonians can have children? And then also, too, he is the son of the sun. Oh, well, then you really know what Superman's all about. Where am I going with this? Okay, the Legion. Yes. So you have Superboy decide that he wants to put together a type of Justice League in the future, right? And, you know, because he's so inspired by the heroes of his past, just like how we're inspired by the myths and legends of our past, right? And so he does like a, you know, American Idol audition kind of thing for people to come in and be like, hey, these are my powers, let me on the team. So they basically do their little auditions and they pick their team. And once their team is picked, they go on their, American Idol, but for superheroes. How fun would that be as a show, right? The Legion of Superheroes present auditions, right? Oh my god. Oh my gosh, you're funny. Too much, you guys. So, the Legion, where was I going with that fly? I see you. Before this show is over, the fly, my nemesis, I will get you. I have my fly swatter right there. I'll go get you. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Wait. What did you say? American Idol. Yeah. No need. That helps for, that's gotta be nice. Well, God needs to get out of my face right now. Okay, a god, perhaps, right? Or a fractal of something. So after this, the Legion gets together, tryouts happen, they choose their people. They go on their first mission. And their first mission, did you hear him? See? Oh my gosh. He knows too. I'm like, you have this whole place, but you want to like bug me, right? Because you want me to stop. Da-da-da. Okay, continuing onward. So they go on their first mission, which is to stop an asteroid from hitting the planet Rimbor. I think that's what it is. Rimbor. And they do so. They do it with some help from Brainiac 5, who's a Coloan. And in this timeline, the Legion of Superheroes basically have the only version of Brainiac that's good, right? To you could be his whole world. Well, I mean, that sounds like all the traits of a narcissistic relationship, where they don't have their own life and they just enmesh with yours. So unhealthy coping mechanisms there too. So I don't want this relationship with the fly. I'm putting healthy boundaries up so he can leave, or you can face destruction, you know? Not gonna... So anyways, going back to the Legion and Superboy's Legion, they stop the asteroid. Things seem like, yay, we win. But then, likely because Brainiac 5 is with them, and they really needed Brainiac 5 there because he had to deal with the whole, like, you know, once they blew up the asteroid, pieces of the asteroid were coming towards the planet, so we had to deal with that, and then Brainiac 5 helped them with that, right? Because it's more than just brute force with how you can solve a problem, right? You gotta have all your elements, right? Which is why you have the Justice League with, like, you know, Wonder Woman and Green Lantern and Green Arrow and Batman, and you need Batman there even though he's annoying, right? Because everyone has those different perspectives that come to solving a problem that could lead to, you know, saving the world and, you know, saving your loved ones, protecting the innocent, justice, truth, all that good stuff, you know? So after the asteroid happens, because Brainiac 5 is there and he's like part of a race called the Coloans, I hope I'm saying that right, and the Coloans are like every time I hear Brainiac talked about, they say he's a organic computer, but I suppose, I don't know, in this world, they're an alien race of species whose main goal is to document knowledge, so to obtain knowledge and intel. And then we find out that the Fatal Five shows up out of nowhere after they've, like, you know, yay, we killed the asteroid. The Fatal Five shows up, right? So they fight, and this fight is actually, so like, that's the thing I think our young heroes have learned, right? It's one thing to fight an inanimate object like an asteroid, right? And it doesn't punch back, it doesn't have feelings, that kind of thing. It's quite a different thing when your superhero team has to go up against like evil bad guys, right? Because A, they don't play fair, and B, it's kind of scary. Right? So the Legion, these teenagers, like, after their first win, they go right into fighting the Fatal Five. And Supergirl, I've read many Supergirl comic books. Who's Martin Goodman? What do you mean? Oh, thank you. Where was I? Okay, don't throw me off, you guys. Let me finish this. I have a plan. I'm working for the universe here. I gotta let you guys know certain stories for your imaginations, right? So you empower them and you dream big and you, like, don't apologize for it, right? The creator of Marvel. You know, it's funny because I love all these characters so much. I go deep into the lore and stuff, right? So the creator of Lois Lane and Clark Kent, Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster, right? Joe Shuster is actually from Toronto, right here in Canada. The illustrator and the writer, right? Now, the creator of Supergirl and Crypto is Otto Binder, and I forget who his brother's name is. So you basically have different heroes, or different, yeah, they're pretty much heroes too, creating different characters, but they're not necessarily under, you know, a publishing house or a label. That's why I kind of look at it like music and labels, where you have the artist doing their thing, and then this label kind of on top of it being like, well, we're gonna kind of control it. Superman is king. Yeah, well, I mean, he's from Kansas, I feel like, right? There's that level of that too, like being out in the prairies too. So I think it's been said, though, he's supposed to be from, like, the Daily Planet is modeled after the Star in Toronto. There's certain things about the landscape. It looks very comic booky, definitely. Oh, hello, Latex Fitness. Ooh, latex. Oh. Any tips on how to get in and out of latex effectively? Especially as superheroes. I do love the latex look. Where was I? Okay, Fatal Five show up. They fight. Bad-ish goes down. So, Cosmic Boy loses an arm. Scary, right? And then, I think it's Colossal Boy dies, who's like Sun Boy's best friend. And so there's these very real losses. And then they, you know, stab Brainiac 5 in the neck with some sort of tranquilizer thing, and they, like, haul him away. And really they find out that the Fatal Five is working for another Lex Luthor. I don't know, like, how, like, he looks like very mob boss Lex Luthor. Because Lex Luthor, of course, wants to, like, experiment on Brainiac 5 to, like, get all his information, and I want the knowledge, I want all of it, right? You know, very classic Lex. So Lex Luthor is the one who sent the Fatal Five there to really, like, extract Brainiac 5 for his own nefarious purposes. So once that's discovered, Superboy is traumatized, right? This is his first mission out, and he's already lost a team member. And one of his founding members, Cosmic Boy, has lost an arm. So he's kind of like in this traumatized state right now. And the team kind of splits, where half the team is going to go after Brainiac, right? Because his friend is like, if we don't get him back and certain secrets are extracted from his head, then the whole universe's safety is in jeopardy. So we got to go get him. And Sun Boy, who's best friends with Colossal Boy, wants to get revenge, you know, and remember, these are all hormonal teenagers, so you're kind of like, oh, you're really acting on that impulsive nature, right? And I remember being that age. You're like, all right, well, I'm angry, so I want you to do something about it now, right? Superboy also has RJ Brand there, who's kind of like almost overprotective of him. I mean, remember, they're teenagers, right? So they're like looked at as spoiled brats. So Cosmic Boy Rock, who's with Saturn Girl, who I love Saturn Girl, those two, and Superboy and Dream, I keep on calling her Dream Girl, it wasn't Dream Girl, it's Phantom Girl, they go back to Earth to regroup, whilst the rest of the team go to try to rescue Brainiac 5. And that is where we last left off these events. So I'm going to put down this mic. My fly is still there. I'm going to bring the other mic. My karaoke mic. Okay, this. Let's see if I can bring the other mic as close as I can to me. To my face. Okay. How tragic this story is. You're quite... Indeed, indeed. Okay. Oh. Noise. Okay, you guys. I'm going to continue on the read. We'll see how far we get before I get too tired. I have to go to therapy tomorrow. Kind of early-ish. Okay. And tomorrow, stay tuned. I'm going to have my Star Sapphire cosplay, as long as it doesn't get me restricted by TikTok yet again. Am I? Definitely not. I am real. In fact, I was born in 1985, probably before a lot. I mean, my dad was a prof in comp sci, right? So I grew up with tech at a young age, but I don't know. Maybe? Who knows? I'm willing to question it. I feel like maybe the AI has been copying me. Not the other way around. Who was here first? I was. Okay. Now. Okay, yes. So before we last left off too, we have, what's his name? Lightning Lad and Lightning Lass join brother and sister because, you know, the team split up, and Superboy is still kind of like choked up about the whole thing. Let's see here. Oh yes, and speaking of Lois Lane, we have like, I think Jimmy Olsen, it's like great granddaughter, Lois Olsen, right? Basically reporting in the new space age kind of thing. Where are we here? Oh yeah, so they want to join the Legion, and this like kind of like witchy lady, I guess. And Phantom Girl says to them, I'm not quite sure there even is a Legion anymore. Superboy, Cal, we've got to talk. No need. My super hearing works fine. All my powers do, except when they're really needed. All my powers do, except when they're really needed. Now go away and leave me alone. So of course, like, it's like if you were the leader of a team and you lost people on your team, you're going to feel that loss, right? And you feel incredibly guilty, and you're like, why did I even do this in the first place, right? Because, you know, ish is hard, you know? Big epic stuff is not easy. And Lois here gives him some words of encouragement. I know you wanted to impress your dad. Show Leto and the SP the science police. How wrong they were. But if you give up now, you'll be proving them all right. So let me need to authenticate that I'm actually not AI. I'm not a bot. Oh my gosh, I failed to verify. F you, TikTok sometimes. Okay. Yay. It worked. Okay. Okay. We back. After these messages, we'll be right back. Okay. Where are we? Oh, yes. So words of encouragement. I know you wanted to impress your dad, show Leto and the SP how wrong they were, but if you give up now, you'll be proving them all right. The rest of the team are keeping your dream alive, and others are still willing to join you. They believe, and so does your dad. Despite what happened between you two, he wants you to succeed. I know because he told me. I mean, TikTok is funny with me, right? Like, it always restricts me when I have too much, like, cleavage, too much body. I drank, remember you guys, once, remember a glass of water, and I told you guys, I'm like, there's nothing in this but a glass of water. And then they still restricted me, saying that I was drinking substances that could be harmful for your health. I was like, listen, no. Oh, that's sweet. Ah. What about I would love to be Catwoman. Actually, I do Black Cat Felicia Hardy, but I do love my feline friends. I always thought as Catwoman as being like a bit too, like I didn't think I could pull that off. So it would be a fun like exercise for me to try to pull off a Catwoman. I'm much more like cutesy. Like I relate more to like Batgirl, right? Harley Quinn is hard for me too, right? I would do Poison Ivy. I like Poison Ivy. Or like Huntress. I really like Black Canary. Yeah. So like any of them, all of them. Let's see here. Yeah. So I am also doing auditions coming up very soon because I can't play every single character. Also, I'm only 5'2". Don't know if you guys know that. I'm only 5'2", but my attitude's 6'1". A lot of my girlfriends are actually like 5'10" or 5'6", like not 5'10". Well, actually, my bestie, she's 5'10", but like 5'6". So like when you hang out with taller people and you're short, you're like, I'm taller too. And then I look at pictures, I'm like, oh no, I'm not. So I do need like girls on the team to be, you know, the other girls on the team. And also, it's also more fun playing with friends, right? Okay, so this chickie, though, the reporter girl, she's also like kind of like a secret spy for RJ Brand, who's Superboy's dad. Just not for anything nefarious, because they all don't like the science police, who are like, if you were to relate this to like dystopic future storyline stuff, sci-fi, classic totalitarian police people. Think of like what was that movie with Batman in it and Sean Bean? Equilibrium. You know, in Equilibrium where you're like, no art, nothing, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. Yeah, okay. So she's just saying that the rest of the team are keeping his dream alive and he shouldn't give up on it. Despite what happened between you two, he wants you to succeed. I know because he told me. And then Superboy lashes out, saying, in one of your secret messages, showing him how stupid I've been. And she doesn't miss a beat. She's like, okay, like he's like, I know you were spying on me. Don't be so selfish. Do you realize the risks he took standing up to the SP on your behalf? Only if they grow up and see how much they care about you. He cares for you. Hey, you just don't get it. I'm the sole survivor of my people, different from anyone else. Which I totally feel for you here, Superboy. I feel for you. So hey, you just don't get it. I'm the sole survivor of my people, different from everyone else. I will always be alone. So don't pretend that you understand my life. Mic drop there. I feel you. And Starboy, like, it's kind of creepy how he did it. It's like behind the sheet, like, I understand. But that's what he does. Oh, you're back, Fly. I don't know if that's like violent if I like dispose of him on air. We have a vendetta, Fly. not to be confused with Jeff Goldblum's Fly. You know, Cronenberg's Fly. Like, I'm not big on body horror. Like, it grosses me out. I'm literally that person just like, I can't. Like, but the story of The Fly is kind of tragic, right? So, Superman has always been my idol since I was very young. Do you have a favorite story? Tricklectress, The Last of the Mohicans. That was a good movie. Also, Dancing with Wolves was a good movie too. Remember when Daniel Day-Lewis was in a lot of movies? And like, you know, like the hardcore method acting. My hubby does this funny impression of Nicolas Cage. He's like, you know, as a thespian, I do this like nouveau shamanic acting method, you know. But you know what? Acting is very shamanic. Yo, when you say The Fly, you don't talk about flies. It's just one. He's here. He was trying to stop me from going live. It was kind of crazy, which is just a cue to keep going, I think. Or, you know, I could also be playing as like female version of Clark Kent, because that is pretty much what Lois is. Like, it's the counter to it, right? And I remember reading once a really nice saying that, like, because Superman loves Lois, who's human, even though he's an alien, right, and the sole survivor of his planet, because he loves her, he loves all of us too, right? Humanity, right? Thank you. And you guys are all the real super friends, right? So time to wake up to who you really are, right? So if you believe me, then I believe you, right? So, yeah. I would love to read your comics. I do have a P.O. box you can send comics to. And if you have anything to promote that you would like for me to read live, I'm going to be working that all out as well. So stay tuned. Also, if you guys, I know a lot of you guys are like artists and creators yourselves, so I would love to connect on those kinds of things too. All right, continuing onward. Do I know MC Comics? Maybe. I know. Are there any stories in there that I would know about? And it's funny too, like some things that used to be published by like Vertigo or Dark Horse or like more independent publishing houses, I feel like it's scooped up by the bigger like Marvel. Like I think Conan, for example, is Marvel, and Constantine used to be Vertigo and got kind of like pulled into the lore of like DC, but I do think that works. Understand Image. Image Comics. I do have Promethea Comics, and the funny story about Promethea, and Alan Moore legit is one of my favorite comic book writers. Like, if I had, you guys have you want to do like top 3 comic book writers? My top 3 are Alan Moore, Jeff Johns, and then it's a tie between Marv Wolfman because of Crisis, and he created Nightwing, right? I know it was like Dick Grayson before that, but like, so I love Marv Wolfman for that. And he was also involved in a lot of the CW, Supergirl, Flash shows, and I think that's why those shows are a lot better than a lot of the other maybe superhero stories out there, because you actually have someone, you know, comic book writer involved in the whole creation of it. Not that it has to be exactly like the comic book to be good, right? It's just about, I think, getting the heart of the story, right? And the characters and doing it all justice, right? Let's just continue onward, guys. Okay, I just like went off on a tangent. I forgot where I was going with it. Okay, we're reading Superboy's Legion 100-page spectacular with myself as Lois Lane, aka Superwoman, and Deadpool is amazing. Yes, agreed. Okay, Starboy, as I said, we creeps out from like underneath the curtain and says, "I understand. Starboy, I thought that you'd return to space. What happened? I got careless, but I'll heal. Be prepared for a few knocks and don't think about quitting once things get messy. Otherwise, you've got no right to call yourself a hero. You've gathered a good bunch of kids, but never forget that you've had more advantages than most of them. So don't blame your life. It's cowardly. Wow, there's Starboy. Starboy also seems a little bit older than a boy. Kind of has the whole receding hairline thing. So I'm just kind of like, how old are you, Starboy? Okay. And don't make the same mistake as me. Vengeance, no matter how sweet it is, or may appear, rather, like the images in your rear view mirror, right? And don't make the same mistake as me. Vengeance, no matter how sweet it may appear, isn't what it's about. Forget about impressing your father or avenging the harm done to Colossal Boy, Cosmic Boy, or me. Go ahead, rescue Brainiac 5, sorry. Rescue Brainiac 5. I just thought of something, you guys. Yeah, it's Brainiac 5, and he's the one good Brainiac. And in many storylines, Brainiac 5 and Supergirl are actually a couple, because she loves his intelligence, his 5th level intelligence, because he's like, you know, because brains are sexy, right? Intelligence is hot, right? Okay. And don't make the same mistake. And he says, like, it isn't what it's about. Forget about impressing your father or avenging the harm done to Colossal Boy or me. Go ahead, rescue Brainiac 5 and stop the Fatal 5, but do it for only one reason. Do it because you believe it's right. And there it is. That's the message. And so after that little motivational speech, Superboy goes inward and with newfound resolve says, let's go. So let's go, team. Even though I'm the sole survivor, woe is me, all of this stuff, you gotta still do the right thing. I hope so. I hope so, Care. I hope to be. I try to be, and he's right. Like, what does it take? What does it mean to be a hero, right? And it is like, you know, Joseph Campbell, he had a definition, and I'm going to riff on it a little bit, which is this idea of you're giving your life to a higher purpose, right? To something beyond yourself, right? Your friends, love, animals, you know, saving the world, the universe, you know. It's selflessness, right? So it's not about the credit. It's not about impressing people. It's not about, like Lex, of course, like he gets all butthurt about Superman because he has such an ego. He wants the credit of saving humanity. How dare an alien actually be a good alien and like be the savior of this planet, right? So, each of us on our personal journeys of life go on this path where you get to choose who stands by your side when you face the fire, right? You get let to in your personal world, who you let to play those important roles like mentor and best friend and lover and, you know, all of that stuff. It's very important. It's far more important than like the news and the politicians and all of that stuff out there. And not to say that external world, we shouldn't know the landscape, but don't give complete strangers the roles that your good friends and soul family deserve in your life, right? So, all right, so now that we're like, you know, repowered up, right? Let's go get brainy, right? So back on Earth, I think Cosmic Boy, because this is the future, losing a limb is no big deal. You're just gonna get a bionic limb, which is gonna be super powerful anyways, like Jax in Mortal Kombat, right? Superman can warm up super cold instantly. Best use of the powers, right, Boss Tiger? Okay, let's continue. Blessed Hope Hospital, Metropolis, prosthetic infirmary. I hope we can get to this point that we can actually help people with limbs like that. Like, tech for all its things, the AI, all that stuff. I'm like, can we help people walk again? Can we give people, like, their limbs back? All that kind of stuff. That would be some, like, you know, I feel higher purposes to our technology than others. But hey, maybe we still have time to make that happen. I believe in miracles. Do you? Okay, so Blessed Hope Hospital, Metropolis, prosthetic infirmary. There may be a little soreness for a few days, but it should suffice until the appendage vats can grow a DNA-specific replacement. That's the best plasteel we could get on such short notice. So how does it feel, Rock? It feels good. It'll be interesting to see it react to magnetic powers. Or my magnetic powers. I guess that's how Cosmic Boy's powers work. I wasn't really sure how his powers worked, because in the Legion, they each have their own, like, kind of specific powers. And fun fact, Marvel's X-Men, you know, back in the day, before all the copyright police and all this kind of stuff, and creators could kind of, like, collab more, the X-Men kind of, like, got inspiration from the Legion of Superheroes, right? And then the X-Men, of course, became its own thing, right? And that's this idea of us being inspired from each other and not to be so, like, possessive of the idea. Like, it's mine, my precious, right? It's really supposed to be a gift to the universe, right? Your beautiful imagination, your creative force to serve the cosmos and beyond, right? So Cosmic Boy, traumatic injury, but able to, you know, heal and recover from it, which is good. That's the best plasteel we could get on such short notice. How does it feel, Rock? It feels good. It'll be interesting to see it react to my magnetic powers. How can we repay your generosity, Mr. Brand? So Mr. Brand, RJ Brand, is Superboy's father figure in this case, and he's like the benefactor to the Legion. Where are we? For what you kids did on Rimbor, people will be paying you back for a long time yet. Well, speaking of Rimbor, we ought to be heading back to help the others. Ridiculous. The lad needs at least another 24 hours to get over his surgery. Sorry for the intrusion, but we're friends of Chuck Tane, Bouncing Boy, from the tryouts. Karate Kid and Pharaoh Lad, right? Right. We were wondering if... Step aside, freak. We're under code red orders. So, of course, science police, totalitarian, you know, the empire, they show up. Crash the party. Fun police. Code red? Has the Security Council authorized this? Commissioner Leto has used his executive powers to declare a state of martial law until the present crisis has been dealt with. What crisis? Has Leto lost his senses? Enough questions. You're all under arrest. As I feared, the tracker shows Querl being taken to the sector designated for Kolu's next emergence. We can't intercept them in time. If the Koluans are as smart as rumored, they must have some firepower of their own. Clearly, Brainiacs will be used as a hostage. I keep calling him Brainiacs. It's Brainiac 5. Not the sector, no! Oh yes, so for the Cosmic Comic Book Club, you guys, I've been busy upgrading my setup. This setup right here is basically like old school vibes of like, pretend we're in like 1999, and you're in grade 5, right? And I'm reading you guys a comic book, and I'm your teacher, right? And we're learning how comic book lore and legend and literacy and symbolism, all that good stuff, all dressed up as something fun. But I do, in the Cosmic Comic Book Club on Discord, also to get away from some of the copyright potential issues, because it'll be a private kind of group, I'll have a camera too, or rather the screen grabs of the panels, so you can see the art up close. Because I know all of you comic book fans know that like half the reason why we read comic books are the beautiful images, right? Because the illustrator, like, because you don't have to, like in a regular book, be like, oh, he said this loudly. You have other ways of showing the expression in the images themselves, and totally escape, right? When this world gets too rough, who doesn't want to jump through a portal and go somewhere where we all have powers, right? Yeah, is why offensive? I can't tell sometimes. You know what? Sometimes TikTok, you guys, may censor your comments, and I honestly don't know why. It's like the science police, right? It's weird. Okay, so there's a code red happening. A bunch of these goons come in, and they're like, crash the party, and then they're like, why? What's going on? I got beat. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that though. Like, honestly though, you guys, if you have gone through a hard time, it doesn't have to be as extreme as losing an entire planet, of course, but any great loss and grief and all those feelings, it's not easy to put those aside and then like live your life, you know, whatever that is, especially when crisis hits. And so how do we deal with crisis? And comic books, funnily enough for me personally, have given me mental strategies of how to deal with stuff like crisis and like really hard trials and tests that life throws at you, right? Where you have to go through loss and it doesn't make sense, right? So, oh, there's the fly again. See? We'll see. Okay, yeah, you could go anywhere you want. Why do you have to be right here? Okay, continue. I'm going to go onward for another 10 minutes, you guys. And then I'll wrap and we'll go. I can't lose anyone. You know, if you're strong enough to hold that grief of what it takes when you love somebody, that's the courage it takes to love, right? So, you know, I hope I smell good. Smelling is like rooted to your root chakra. So that base of like, even like the pheromones and stuff, right? You can smell fear and that kind of thing. Well, not fear in my case. I think I smell like joy, strawberries, and maybe some floral notes, kind of stuff. Yeah. Where are we? We can like scratch and sniff tech at some point. Oh my gosh. That fly is like trying to stop me from reading. It's so crazy. It's like, what are you, science police with your little fly drone? You can't stop me. I'm still gonna read my book. Okay. Step aside, freak. We're under Code Red orders. Code Red, has the Security Council authorized this? Commissioner Leto has used his executive powers to declare a state of martial law until the present crisis has been dealt with. What crisis? Has Leto lost his senses? I think so. Enough questions. You're all under arrest. So yeah, we're in a hostage situation. Oh yes, thank you for joining the Cosmic Comic Book Club. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Steve? Yes. I have to little shout out to you guys. Also for all like members of like the full moon circle, we're gonna do like an analysis after too, so we can have a bit more of like intimate conversation, I guess, and even more fun if you want to show up to those full moon readings in cosplay. Aw, thank you for the roses. Okay, onward, my friends. Yes, so there's a tracker on, oh, thank you. A tracker on Brainiac 5, who I keep on calling Brainiacs, the Brainiac 5, so that they, the other part of the team can intercept him and basically get rescue mission, right? If the Coloans are as smart as rumored, they must have some firepower of their own. Oh, Murat, thank you for the Go Popular and the Heart Me. Thank you. Clearly, Brainiac 5 will be used as a hostage. On that fly. I know, I can't stand flies in the house. I have a fly swatter around here, but I don't want to be violent on camera like that. Oh, good, Cody. That's perfect then. Sweet dreams. Do your thing in the dream world. Remember, your dreams are very important, Cody. Have a great night. Don't hurt the I won't, you guys. It's a big one, though. It's not even one of those, like, little baby flies. It's, like, a big, like, fat, juicy fly. Like, yo, like, that's what happened in The Fly, right? Jeff Goldblum, he's really trying to figure out teleportation, right? So he goes into the teleportation device, and then a fly gets in with him, and then his DNA, like, merges with the fly, and then he becomes, like, Grundlefly. It's like, yeah, so it's a fly. It's also just being aware of, like, hygienic stuff and, like, clean your environment stuff, like, thing. Okay, so there's a Code Red, Science Police. They obviously have a different MO going on. Meanwhile, the rest of the Legion of Superheroes is off on the rescue mission to save Brainiac 5. Just another reason to hit the 5 as hard as we can. Cool it. Remember what I said about working as a team this time. The Coloans are pacifists who rely on stealth rather than confrontation. We'll be leaving hyperdrive in 20 seconds. People rarely encounter them because the entire planet constantly moves around the universe, shifting from one location to another using veiling technology. It's a security measure that's never failed. 15 seconds. Hi, Mr. Top Ramen. Hello. Been a while. I hope you're well. How have you been? I hope you've been eating lots of ramen. Actually, that just made me, like, could use noodles right now. Spicy noodles, you know. Okay. For a human, you know a hell of a lot about Kolu. What's your connection with the green guy? The green guy, as you put it, is my brother. It's my brother, a semi-sib cloned from my DNA. My parents were a science team, one of thousands secretly employed by the science police to find Kolu. They succeeded, but there was an accident, and they were killed. 8 seconds. Coloans are assumed to be cold and uncaring, but they raised me, treated Quirrell as a companion to grow up with, and guided me when, as a result of constant veiling, my invisibility manifested itself. They are a magnificent race. I'm only half fun with It's hard for me to read this. You try reading it out loud. And also, too, this is a cold read. I have not read this comic book before. We're all reading this together. Okay. But if the knowledge they cherish should fall into the wrong hands, the results would be catastrophic. 2 seconds. Entering normal time space. Now. At these coordinates, Kolu should arrive in about... Oh no. Dear God, this cannot be. Ooh, what is this? Look at how trippy that is, you guys. Check it out. What is that? You let me know. Thank you. You have a great tomorrow, too. It's Kolu We can see it even though we're still 450,000 clicks away. Awesome. Truly a miracle. I can feel its photoelectron spectrum. It's one huge zircolite crystal. I don't know, it's supposed to be a crystal. I don't know what, it's almost like, cubic zirconias or like fake diamonds. It's like zircolite crystal. I don't know, maybe, who knows? We just show up like, hey guys, what's up? Traveled through the dimensions, decided to show up. Say hey. Okay, here we go. I've never felt such purity before. It's so beautiful. What's the problem, Lyle? Well, first it should still be veiled for another 2 of the sector's solar orbits. Are we going to land on that? And second, I can't contact the planet. Oh, Haley, thank you for the rose. And second, I can't contact the planet. It isn't recognizing my security codes. Meaning the Fatal Five have used Quirrell to camouflage their arrival. They're already on Kolu, possibly ready to access its databanks. We have to find them immediately. There, a power surge. They've landed and are establishing an interface. With what exactly? The whole planet looks like polished glass. It's one huge fractal computer actually connecting with any part that would give them total access. Then why don't the Koloans stop them? I don't see anyone. Well, it's kind of complicated. And then there's a big fist that shows up as they're debating this. You kids must be crazy to want a rematch. And the Fatal Five reveal themselves. So, we'll just let the explosive decompression kill you for us this time. Cowards, cowards. Persuader, fall back. They're wearing trans suits. They were ready for... Oof. Yeah, they were ready for you. Biatch. Love the Fatal Five. They're tough, you guys, right? This time, we know your powers. We know who should tackle who. They have a strategy going in this time. Not going to be so easily pushed around, hopefully. And they're just learning. It was like their initial mission, right? When to hit and when to run. Tough talking, kid, but when it comes to raw power, nobody beats the Fatal Five. Damn, the strategy is falling apart. Sunboy, you're breaking ranks too soon. You should be covering Shadowlass. So they have a different crew of team. Like, remember, the last time they fought the Fatal Five, they got their asses beat, and then Brainiac 5 was stolen. So this is like their rematch. So they're like, okay, we've got a different strategy, right? Enjoy Justice League versus the Fatal Five. Yeah, they're tough, right? They're worthy opponents to our superhero friends, right? And it's always good having a worthy adversary, right? Not that I'm like tempting fate in that kind of sense, but okay, damn. The strategy is falling apart. Thought bubble, right? Sunboy, you're breaking ranks too soon. You should be covering Shadowlass. We can adapt too, Ultra Boy. You may be fast when avoiding one point of attack. But let's see how you do when I introduce a few playmates. Science Police Headquarters, Metropolis. So, if this was like a show, we would like flash away like, all right, next scene. I am reading this guy, Superboy's Legion, 100-page spectacular, the Legion of Superheroes. And we're at the point in the story where they've just put the Legion together after tryouts, right? They've gone their first mission. They have destroyed an asteroid that was about to kill the planet. But then the Fatal Five showed up. Like, is John aged up? I believe so. Yes. I'm not familiar with actually, like, the origin of this particular Superboy. So, if you have any info on it, I would like to know. And Superboy I love Superboy, right? And I mean, it also just brings me back to being a teenager, right? Like, just the balls like all of us had when we were like 15, 16, right? Before we were like legal and stuff and we're adults, and we had like, didn't realize how, like, you know, as angsty and horrible parts of it could be, right? A lot of it can be like, you know, this, like, really fun, like adventures with your friends, like getting lost in your imagination, that kind of stuff, traversing inner space together. So the science police, totalitarians, the powers that aren't, of course, are not going to want such things to happen. And so let's flash back to the bad guys. Science police headquarters in Metropolis. Patrol XL5 clear to land. Report directly to the intelligence nucleus. Something's wrong, Rock. I can sense it. Take it easy, Imra. Mr. Brand will sort it out. Brand and the terrorists have arrived, sir. Well, it's about time. Secure the building. We can expect trouble once I put the truth to them. Oh, hey, Brad. How's it going? We can expect trouble once I put the truth to them. Leto, what's the meaning of this outrage? You have overstepped. I'm acting to avoid total disaster. What in blue blazes are you talking about? Oh my gosh, Blue Blaze is like a throwback to like the other comics. And hello, Brad again. And yes. Truth that they don't have no truth. You know what it is? I forget. Oh, sorry for inviting. I didn't mean to. Where was I going with this? There's this saying about how the truth in the fiction, right? How artists, politicians use truth to tell lies, and artists use lies to tell the truth. I'm not saying that right. All right, let's continue onward for just a few. Oh, it's 3:33 right now. Magic hour. There we go. Okay, science police, look at them. They look all scary and such. Brand and the terrorists have arrived, sir. About time. Secure the building. Can we expect trouble once I put the truth to them? Leto, what is the meaning of this outrage? You have overstepped. Well, I'm acting to avoid total disaster. What in blue blazes are you talking about? This. He looks like the scary guy in V for Vendetta. You know, like, we need to show them that they need us, kind of thing. This, the malfunction of the Universo computer. It's their weird AI god computer thing that tells them what to do. This, the malfunction of the Universo computer following an unbreakable data link to the space around Rimbor. Universo worked for centuries without mishap until your son and his cohorts went to that very same planet. Coincidence? There are no coincidences, eh? We're powerless to stop worldwide system failures that have already hit the rim worlds and are now sweeping towards Earth. How much Alan Moore have you read? I have read a lot of Alan Moore. I read Promethea from book 1 to book 5. I read Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. I read Watchmen. I've read Swamp Thing. I've read I've read his Constantine, but he's the one who created Constantine, right? As a buddy for Swamp Thing. So I do love Alan Moore a lot. I've also read like Lost Girls. Have you guys read that? It's kind of, Promethea is amazing. I do need to read Promethea to you guys. In my story, The Dragon Warriors, it's based on real girls. And Promethea is actually a series of comic books I received as a gift from my girlfriend Liz, who when she was younger, she was actually institutionalized for being psychotic. There's like other words for that, like psychic, psychotic. People don't know how to deal with the non-normies, I guess. So at her hospital, the guy in the hospital bed next to her gifted her these comic books, Promethea by Alan Moore. And later on, right, she's in my comic book. For my birthday, she gifted them to me. And then when I read Promethea, I was blown away. Oh, oh my gosh, I have to read your name out loud properly because that was a lovely gift. Thank you. Ball sack lunch. That's so funny because we were just making ball sack jokes earlier today. Thank you. I have not read From Hell, but I did like the movie. I don't know how much the movie is close to it. I like horror and stuff. It's hanging out the suit. The suit is tough. I know. The suit, it's more of the cape. It's the cape. It's the luxurious cape situation that's causing it. You know, and even flying. I never really watched the CW Supergirl, but I do love Melissa. I think that her version of Supergirl is very, like, I like it. It's like that girl next door bestie kind of thing. So, she has a whole thing about, like, the suit and, like, cape, no cape, that kind of thing. Yeah, my wolves. My wolves. Yeah. So to all of you guys, I'm actually also, you guys, starting my own psychedelic society called the Northern Light Society, and it's going to be under like a PMA. I do some work with like decriminalized nature and stuff with like entheogens and stuff, but this is going to be my own society. I'm not going to put psychedelic in the name. I'm like, you guys, we need to be a bit more like covert than that because they're not going to like, it already kind of puts it, I have to get it set up first. I've got like PMAs in education, and my superhero school is going to sit within the Northern Light Society as a way to kind of like get different people from different modalities and things that you may not think as like normal education and get them like talking to each other, right? Because there's a lot of stuff in what people deem as frivolous, right? Like messages from the universe and like songs and like poetry and comic books and these other mediums that are perhaps more modern than like our classics, but still deserve some discourse and analysis and like fun discussion and stuff. Wait for the response. Oh, thank you. So baked. Hey, I love Mary Jane. She's done a lot for my mental health, baby. Like a lot for you know, calming down my nervous system and like helping me get just more in a mental state. The magic, he wasn't wrong. Yeah, Morris, I'm gonna uncensor your your comment. That's a good one. Bro dude, need to do that. Let's see here. You're full of fantasies. Yes, I am. Indeed. Okay. Approve. Okay. All right, let's continue. Onward. Okay. Oh yeah, so he's going on about how there's the malfunction of the Universal Computer, which is like their AI god thing that runs the science police. So something is going on here, right? We're powerless to stop worldwide system failures that have already hit the rim worlds and are now sweeping towards Earth. You're guilty, Brand, of using the Legion to attack the SP and undermine your industrial rivals. You won't get away with this. Rock, I sense a mind, ancient, malignant, inside the computer. And this is Saturn Girl. My girl, Saturn Girl, master telepath, kind of like Jean Grey. I can see like, but she's like, I love Saturn Girl. There's also an outfit for Saturn Girl that I totally want to emulate. TikTok will still get mad at me, but maybe that can be like members only kind of stuff. And so she's sensing in the computer there's like a malignant mind. Uh-oh. Kolu, are you sure you know what you're doing, Luther? This ship looks like it's about to fry. I like Sunboy. I do like Sunboy. It's got a lot of like that virility and energy. If you guys could be part of the Legion, who would you be? Good. It's like a fun question. It's fun, like almost like personality quiz to get you to know about yourself too. Like for me, I love Saturn Girl. I would love to be like Saturn Girl, but that at the same time, in many versions of Saturn Girl, she's basically like a mute. She can only talk telepathically, right? So, you know, pros and cons, just like even in like the X-Men, like what sometimes seems like a gift is also like a curse, right? So that kind of thing. Okay. Kolu, are you sure you know what you're doing, Luther? The ship looks like it's about to fry. Relax, Tharok. The ship is doing exactly what it was designed for, says Luther. Thanks to the access ciphers, my young friend here reluctantly supplied. I'm slicing through security barriers and bypassing encryption codes at the rate of 3,000 a second. Events proceed according to plan. All it takes now is patience. See? Shrug. See what? The planet fighting back? No. The planet relinquishing its secrets via the processor node. I've just fooled it into creating it for me. Such riches, such information. The Koloans have cataloged the genome sequences, eradicating all diseases for over 27 trillion alien species, colonized nano-universes. They stand on the brink of unlocking time travel itself. Luther? Surely I will find what I seek here. Holy Naz, you're a hologram. What other surprises have you got? And we are going to end here, my friends. All right, guys. Next time you see me, I hopefully will read the rest with this a bit more up close. I'm going to try to set up my studio so I can do that. Of course, this was all old school. I kind of threw this together last minute. I wasn't even sure if I was going to go live tonight, really. But, you know, even though the fly was annoying and getting in the way, you know, we still made it happen, my friends. So thank you so much for joining me for this read as myself as Lois Lane's Superwoman. Thank you, love the haters. They're your biggest fans. It's true too, right? And you know, you guys are amazing too. You reflect everything out back to you, right? Imagine she sold us comic books with psychedelic microdoses on a page. What a beautiful idea. I love George Norrie, Coast to Coast. Yeah, holy leash sheet. Oh, you guys, I love it. It's gonna happen. Our psychedelic society. Well, I think it's more about like, I've realized, you guys too, like I was so naive when I was growing up when it came to certain things and like my own little nerdy projects and stuff like that, right? You almost think that everybody wants like what's best, right? You want the good to win, but it's not really the case. And sometimes people hide that or their true intentions. And it can be quite a thing to realize these things without becoming jaded and bitter, you know, as you grow up. So I encourage you guys to nourish and cherish your inner child who forever exists in you, no matter how old you are. Do not forget about 10-year-old you, right? Do not forget about the dreams that you promised yourself that you would do when you were old enough to do better, right? Or, you know, strong enough and like resourced enough to finally like be the superhero that you always dreamed that you would be, right? And it just takes Takes a little faith, right? So thank you guys for joining me for this live. I wish you guys all a beautiful evening dreamscape wherever you are in the multiverse. And remember, it takes true courage for you to play as exactly you in the cosmic game of life. So please do play as exactly you, because the universe is counting on you. But no worries, I got your back, guys. All right. Oh, Money Boy Grayson. Hey. I wish you guys the best weekend too, Brett. And every weekend, right? I'm looking forward to some fun stuff this summer. So I hope you guys all stay strong, stay, grounded, and let your imagination run wild. Oh, Brett. I appreciate you guys too. Lots of love. Bye.